Welcome, my love. Welcome to Being Brave. This is a podcast for you, for the kind, the sensitive, the creative soul that is ready, that is open, that desires to take responsibility for her greatness and her power, and is here to remember who she really is. I'm your host, Sasha Lipskaia. I'm an artist, I'm a coach, I'm an intuitive guide. Sometimes I'm a witch, sometimes I'm a shaman, sometimes I'm just a playful child. And I'm here to walk with you through inspired reflections, interviews, performances, stories about remembering who you truly are, and guiding you to hearing your soul's message and bravely birthing it into the world. Join me every week and let's thrive. Let's thrive in a life of love, creativity, embodied self-worth, presence, honesty, and being brave every single day, just as you are.
Everyone, I'm here with Kaija. I'll introduce her in a second, but because this is the work we do, we're actually going to lead into the embodiment right now. So breathe into your nose 3 more times. You're just going to breathe. And exhale with a sigh. So if you're joining in us online, like on YouTube or on, oh my God, on my podcast platform, you can just breathe through everything with us. Breathe into your heart. And one more deep breath. Breathe into your heart again. Get grounded and set an intention for what you want to actually receive, get, welcome, and release. Yeah. Yummy. Okay. So of course, non-traditional introduction to this podcast. Welcome Kaija, who is my guest. Welcome everyone. Whoever is listening. I said YouTube, but you're not listening on YouTube. You're listening on a podcast app. And I just want to say that this will be a very beautiful conversation you're tuning into with an incredible healer, coach, teacher, just an embodied goddess in my experience. Her name is Kaija Caraway. And please correct me if I did not pronounce your name properly.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm Kaija Caraway. And the first time I met you, I actually called you Kaija because your name is spelled with a J. And I felt it was such a beautiful way to spell Kaija that I wanted to accentuate it by mispronouncing your name. But Kaija is going to share a little bit more about who she be and what she does in a moment. I just want to share my experience of her. And if you're tuning into this podcast, you most likely are interested in spiritual development, intuitive embodiment. Again, just co-creating with this universe a way for you to express your truest self and in service to the world, as well as just experiencing the wholeness of yourself on purpose, in devotion, and just in radical trust and love. Yeah. And so that's why you're here. Even if this is your first episode, this is what you're going to receive. You're going to receive a conversation about all of what I just named: purpose, love, devotion, destiny, embodied truth, and intuitive development is really how we get there. And of course, there are different ways that we might want to do this inner work, as we call it. Kaija and I are going to speak of a few that we live and practice. And I just want to say that this woman, from the moment that I met you, which was through a Facebook message, to the moment that we actually now speak on Zoom, this is the first time she and I are on Zoom together alone, not in a group of people. I felt such a deep connection to your soul, Kaija. And I almost said her soul, but it's your soul. You're right here. And I felt also incredible. Again, this is why I felt so connected to your soul, is because I felt that you saw my soul and you spoke directly to my soul. And it felt such love, like it felt like love. And it felt like, again, a revealing of a sacred contract that was very much co-created outside of this world and was intended to make us even more just aware of miracles and love and just the generosity of this universe. Because I think everything that we've shared so far Kaija being a healer and a coach herself has revolved around how much we're feeling grace in our lives and how we reflect that to each other. So welcome to the show, Kaija. I am so happy that you said yes, that you're here. I am so excited to hear more about your story, which I know very little about, and also learn more about your work, which I know a little bit about. And I'm just going to tell whoever's listening, if you are looking for somebody to help you completely transmute every single part of you that right now feels like she is needing healing. And if you're looking for somebody to guide you through that transformation with integrity and with mastery, and again, with devotion to your health, to your happiness, to your definition of success, Kaija Caraway is your coach. Now, what she does, she will tell you, but let me just tell you, she does everything as far as I'm concerned. She does everything. Bones to spirit. Let's just say that. But I will let her talk about that. And I will lead us into that with the question of, Kaija, if you would introduce yourself and answer, what is it that lights your soul?
I love that question. Well, thank you for that awesome introduction, Sasha. And I love that you touched on how we met, because that's going to segue into my introduction of who I am. But I want to touch on that first, because for so long, like a few years now, I've really been calling in this support team around me. And I invested in a business program, and Sasha became one of our monthly coaches in that. And I missed the first call that you had. And I was going to miss the second call because I was going on vacation, which prompted me to reach out to you, because in the replay of watching how you spoke to the other group members, I was like, you're here. And I have to reach out to her. Like, this is the angel that I've been calling into my life. I view you as an angel. And like you said, we have this deep, unspoken connection and agreement. And so I couldn't help myself. I had to reach out to you. And so we did. And that's just cultivated this beautiful exchange between you and I of our souls recognizing each other and talking about really real shit in life and sharing. And thank you for holding that space for me. And what I do is I am a women's embodiment and strength coach, and I help heart-led, ambitious women cultivate safety in their minds and bodies and build strength internally and externally, increase their self-trust so that they can make all of their big heart's audacious dreams a reality. And that's this journey I've been on. That's why I do what I do, because that's been what I've been doing and continue to do and strive for and flow through and connect with beautiful people such as yourself in. And so that's why being able to have created safety within myself and strength and fortitude and learn to trust myself again, that has led me here to you, Sasha, and to all of you listening to this podcast. And it's been such a profound experience that I'll share more of my story as we go throughout this conversation. But I can't help but want to help other women to do this as well, to create this in their life and to really reconnect to who they are on the like soul, cellular, divine level that they hear calling to them, right? And that's the biggest thing that I really like to tune into and dial in. And my women that I work with is that intuition that's whispering to them and nudging them all the time of like, hey, come back home to yourself so that you can live more fulfilled and more satisfied and with more freedom and peace and abundance and all of the ways that shows up in their life in relationships and finances and the health of their body. And I mean, there's no stone that goes unturned in this space and in this work, as you know, and as your listeners know, because that's why they're here. So that's what I really love to bring forth into the world and continue to bring forth in myself first. Oh,
Thank
and
you.
what's alive for me?
Yes.
A question. Oh my gosh. This just speaking, connecting with so many people all over the world, seeing beautiful souls who I've never met, but have known my entire life. And, you know, just connection. I think that's what lights me up, is just connection. And specifically with other ambitious women, or just women in general who are about it. They're about bringing out their fullest expression and inhabiting themselves more fully, and wanting to make a difference in the world, no matter what that scale is, whether it's within their own family unit and friends and community up to worldwide. But it all starts with connection, and it all starts with a connection with ourselves first, so that we can be open to receive other people who are willing to do the same.
Oh, you said so many juicy things. I'm like, well, and you really do embody what I introduced you as. Like, you really do embody the healer and the teacher and also the student, right, of the work, by the work, I mean that continuous development of your soul's purpose, right? And truly knowing what that takes, right? And knowing that it's not about healing something and then moving on, right? Or if you're doing the work, there's something that you haven't healed and you're not ready to, it's both and, right? You are the work. And you know that it only empowers everyone else to know, right? That you embodying the work and being transparent about what it actually takes to show up like you do and hold that space. Like you said, that safe space, right? You become the safe space for yourself first, your connection with yourself first, your complete devotion to yourself as that container that then goes out in the world. And like you said, whether it's in your family unit and or all of the above, right? With someone else, with a community, with a group, it doesn't matter how big's the scale. It doesn't matter. The scale is the same, really. When you think about it, it's one person at a time, right? That's what we're here to do, is to connect, to transform one person at a time, whether you consider yourself a healer or, a teacher or what, it doesn't matter what you consider yourself. You are. Some of us do it professionally. And every single one of us has that seed of, I want to empower another. I want to uplift another. I want to connect. That's how we discover ourselves, is through connection, right? So, and both, right, with ourselves and then of course with someone else and the world, but knowing that it has to start with ourselves. It has to, because if it doesn't, you won't be able to connect with another, and let alone forget about serving the world, right? Like, you can't. So it's just so empowering again to see you actually, which is what I said in the beginning, embody it, because we can talk about it all day long. And then you can meet somebody and they can be talking about self-love and, taking care of yourself and investing in yourself. And you can feel in their bodies that they aren't safe within themselves, right? That they're trying to escape themselves, or that they're detached or tuned out the truth of who they are. And you can't explain it. You just energetically feel it, right? And so that's why you and I, like I said, you evoked that feeling of being seen in my soul, because I felt that you actually did carry this incredible capacity to really be right present with someone else, to really connect and receive from them. And to do that, it would mean that you have been cultivating like a devoted practice to connect to yourself. And that evokes trust in me, right? I'm like, oh, I can trust you. So it says a lot, right? And so I just feel really called to say that this is huge. Like, everything that you've done and whatever work you do now, like, I know that the quality of it is absolutely unparalleled to a lot of what, I don't want to say what's available, but a lot of what we think we need is not actually what we need. What we need is somebody like yourself to be that safe space, to have also the mastery and the skills to do the work with you in whatever way, right? As fitness coach or health coach or mindset coach, whatever, intuitive healer. But it comes from that place of you literally bring that space within your body, right? And so you said safety. And to me, this is a huge conversation. I mean, obviously we can't go all the way to everywhere we want to go, which is why I already alluded to the fact that you might have to come back. But safety is so important, right? Just the concept of safety in our bodies, especially if we're talking to women. If you're a man or a gender not conforming individual, doesn't matter. The feminine is what we're talking about, but women especially, right? But the feminine in all of us requires that feeling of safety and being held. And until we understand what it is and we do the work, because most of us never feel safe in our bodies and we don't even know it, right? So that's why connecting to yourself, the first level is feeling, well, where am I at? Do I feel safe in my body? Because from that place, anything could be possible, right? But until you actually create a sense of safety in your body, you will not do the sexual healing, the intuitive work, the whatever you're here to up level to a business, whatever the thing you want to do in the world, you will not actually do because you are not safe within your body and you can't trust yourself. Like you said, you're offering people a space to then, right? And I love how you said that, cultivate safety and then trust themselves. Because that is really how you create a life that makes your soul feel like it's on purpose, right? I can trust. I feel safe. So can you speak more like, how did you end up kind of connecting to the concept that to create any kind of transformation, you need safety and trust first?
Yes. Well, growing up, I had a great childhood, like not really any major things going on, but at the same time, I still didn't really feel safe. There were aspects of my immediate families, like the dynamic there to where I didn't feel safe. I didn't ever feel threatened by any means, but in regards to lower half of your body, like the lower, your root security, it wasn't safe there. And, as we go throughout life, for many of us living in this upper half of our body, really intellectual or manic in our head, just logically thinking through life versus connecting to what our body is actually trying to tell us. That was my operating system for a really long time. And so I then got into a relationship in high school, my senior year in high school, and he and I stayed together for a long time. And again, operating in this upper half and being disconnected from the lower half and not really identifying the safety or lack thereof. I felt it energetically, but developmentally understand. I didn't have the language. I was really great at justifying. I was really great at following in the footsteps of parents before me, conditioning and stories and beliefs and justifications and ways of being in Southern Oklahoma, where I'm originally from. It's just a totally different world down there. And, compared to obviously many places all over the world, I currently live in Colorado, but then that was all I knew. It was all I saw. It was what was modeled to me. And so I was very confused for a very long time, really felt unsafe. And as I went throughout my 20s, I've always been into personal development. I got a psychology degree. I studied it in high school. It was my favorite classes, like always very much into it. And as I had this inner conflict going on within me and trying to make sense of it all, I turned to personal development and psychology. And really, I was trying to fix myself, really what's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? My boyfriend, then husband at the time, he's a great man. Why do I feel the conflict inside whenever there's all these X, Y, and Z signs that say otherwise, So again, this upper half justification. And so in learning about self-development and really tapping into myself, I started to realize how unsafe I was. And yet it still took a long time for me to do what was right for me and to build that self-trust. And throughout this process, I would seek advice from other people about what should I do? What's wrong with me? And in this seeking, I was just continuing to deny my ultimate truth in my heart and my intuition. And actually, whenever I just turned 23 and I woke up one morning and I had gone completely deaf in my right ear. And I'm still completely deaf to this day. It just I woke up one morning and it was gone. And I didn't initially realize I was fully deaf. It rings and my equilibrium was off a little bit, but I went to work that day and I didn't get into an audiologist for a week. And once I finally got in, they told me that I was the youngest case they had seen and the worst case they had seen. And it was a sensory nerve problem. And so it could come back fully or partially or not at all. And so I was kind of at a loss for any kind of help in that way. But intuitively, I knew exactly why this happened, right? Because I wasn't listening to myself. I wasn't trusting myself. I was answers outside of me instead of just letting it be okay that maybe this relationship wasn't for me and that I can listen to myself. But again, it's all so much to handle at 23, 21, and, like the stories and the environment and everything. And so that was the first big aha of like, holy shit, this is real. This is a real thing. And I couldn't really talk to anybody about it. But again, I knew exactly. And so that even furthered this relationship I was building with myself and all of this research I was doing and podcasts and books and YouTube videos and everything. And then we moved to Colorado and have been living a great life. I got pregnant with our daughter. She's beautiful, the biggest gift to my life. And at the same time, I was like, I cannot repeat a pattern of staying in a relationship that isn't serving me because one, of fear, and two, of status quo, old stories, old ways of being. I was like, this will kill me. It will kill me. And so I just continued down this self-development path and like really building up a strong foundation and of understanding myself and getting to know myself on these deepest levels and lots of counseling and, just support in whatever ways I could find. And yet I still couldn't leave this relationship. I knew the answer, Sasha, like many of the listeners probably do, whether it's related to an intimate relationship or a different family relationship or work, a friendship, like, but will you listen? Can you let it be okay? So that's what I was grappling with for years. And December of 2019, we found out I was pregnant again. And it was very bittersweet because our daughter was going to be about 3 years old when the baby was born and helpful and cute and like a great family dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Like it made sense,
right.
Logically.
Yeah.
But I can't have another baby with him. Like he's great, but it would make it so much harder for me to be me. I can't be myself in this relationship. I can't fully express myself. I can't do the things that I want to do in life in general, just very deep, fundamental aspects of living a beautiful life and getting the most that we came to this earth to do and be and have and know. It just wasn't available for me there. And so every day I was pretending to be okay, going to work. Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah. But inside I was like, baby, I don't want to have this baby. I don't want to have this baby. I'm scared. I do not feel safe. I am not safe here. And in March of 2020, at 5 months pregnant, I had to have an induced miscarriage because I had no amniotic fluid left. It was a very painful and kind of dramatic pregnancy in general. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. I couldn't work out. I've been an athlete my entire life. I'm a personal trainer. I was leading classes and I couldn't do it. I couldn't even ride a bike. I would try to do some basic yoga movements or Pilates movements in my kitchen, or not in my kitchen, in my living room, and I would start bleeding. I was just so uncomfortable. And a lot of trips to the hospital and all the signs led that, well, the baby has a strong heartbeat. You seem okay. We don't have any answers for you. And so again, it came to a head after so many months that my water broke at some point. I didn't have any amniotic fluid left and I had an infection in my uterus. So neither I or the baby would survive any longer to, get this baby to the age of viability. So I had to have an induced miscarriage on March 18th of 2020. We all know what was going on at that time. The world was shutting down. It was very scary. We couldn't have family around, right? Everyone was terrified to travel. Nobody was allowed in the hospital. Even if my husband at that time needed to go get food, I mean, he had to go through security, ask the whole thing. And it was really hard. And I delivered a little boy, and I knew it was going to be a little boy. And I so desperately still to this day want a little boy, but he means so much to me because I know his purpose that he served on this earth, right? His existence came to be for me to truly honor myself. And so his sacrifice, I mean, it means so much to me. And I realized the bigger picture of why it had to happen that way. And I'm grateful for it despite the trauma, despite the depression and anxiety that came before and after, despite the years of leading up to that point. He was my catalyst. He is my catalyst for me, for more, for growth, for honor, for truth, for love, deep self-love, for deep self-knowing, for deep embodiment, for allowance, for surrender, everything that you can imagine to relate to that word that comes back to intuition and true self-love. That's what he is to me and what he represents in my life. And that's why I want to share this story, because so many women, I'm sure this is true for men, but it's not really talked about as much, right? But we as women in the feminine and needing this security, if we don't have it, it manifests in physical symptoms, in chronic illness, in diseases, in dis-ease in our body, in thyroid issues, in pain, in eczema, like hair loss, however it shows up, no libido. Especially through my 20s, I was like, what is wrong with me? I have no libido. It's because I didn't feel safe. It's because I didn't love myself. How could I extend that to somebody else? And so it's very complex, but it's also very simple, which is why I want to share my story, because I want to help other women acknowledge this in themselves. If they're feeling this disease, this dissatisfaction, this chronic nudge, this pull inside your body, it's your intuition banging on the door of your heart saying, listen to me, wake up to me. I need this. I have to have you. So that's why tapping into this lower half of your body to listen to what's really going on there and getting out of your head and connecting to your heart and your womb, sacred womb. It has all the answers you will ever need. And so that's why cultivating that safety and really getting to know yourself on these deeper levels and learning to trust yourself again and to listen to your heart and to own your truth, even if it doesn't make sense to everybody else. That's really how you can liberate yourself from all of this pain that is for you and is trying to teach you the lessons that you need to learn in this life, but can be moved through and use as your gift. And it doesn't have to perpetuate like the ways that we can tend to let it perpetuate in ourselves and in our lives. And have that, again, I have a daughter and she means everything to me because I could not repeat that pattern. I've observed that pattern in the women before me. And I knew I couldn't repeat that for her. Like she deserves better than that. And that has to start with me first. And so it's so big, it's so expansive, it's so meaningful to so many people. But that's why we have to start with ourselves first, because that ripple effect is astounding. The choices we make now affect 7-9 generations from now. And so that's why this embodiment work is crucial, not only for our own fulfillment in this juicy, delicious life, but for those that, to honor those that came before us and to set the trail, to blaze a new trail for those that are coming after us.
Yeah. And also, and you said this intuitively, it is about transmuting the patterns that brought you here and not ending with your pattern, right? It's the pattern that you had quite literally absorbed through the womb of your mother. And it's that healing that happens in a quantum field that transgresses, right, the laws of this world and goes into that quantum realm with true healing, right, which can only occur at that level. we are only here to experience it, right? Once we are ready to receive it. But it can only occur at that level of, like you said, it's 7 to 9 or more generations that are coming to this world as human beings, should this world be here. And also it is beyond time, right? So it's healing the generations that led to this moment. I will be the cycle breaker. But it's not just for my daughter. It's for the daughters that came before me. And it's that knowing, like you said, the little boy that you feel his mission on this earth in the body that came in, right? His soul traveled on to wherever body, whatever he's being called now. He might be a girl. He might be, we don't know what's going to happen, but he came to your life in that body of a little boy for that brief moment, right? That he was here on earth. And then for the 5 months that he was in your womb as that catalyst for you to wake up to your true self, to the voice inside of your womb that was screaming for you to actually pay attention to what it required of you. Like it required of you some form of showing up for yourself that you never thought you could actually do in safety, right? I can't show up for myself if I'm not safe. Like I can't actually show up and say I'm here if it's unsafe for me to be here, right? So I'll be pretending I'm not here, right? And I will never say yes to things that will call out my soul because they will make me visible. And therefore I will not be safe, right? Which is what you're literally energetically, I'm seeing this picture of a woman who can't hear herself because the only way she can survive is not hearing herself. Like I can't hear myself because if I hear myself, the world will kill me. And if it hears me, I won't be safe. So I must not hear. And it can only work in that it doesn't. So that eventually your body just says, well, do we want more of this? Or will you take the risk of actually hearing the truth? Meaning that it might destroy everything that you built to feel safe. And when I say this, Kaija, the reason I bring it back to this concept of feeling safe is as he was speaking, I literally felt your message to the world. And I know you can create many messages around what you do, but your message to the world, like what I feel from you, right, is become the safe place you're looking for in the world. Really become the place of safety that you are looking for, that you're constantly trying to find in a partnership, in a room, in a city, in a work environment, in a community, right? Wherever you are looking for that safe place, I will help you find it within yourself. And that's what your story has actually offered you, right? You have found that place within yourself. And just the fact that you can say, I can see the gift in physical death, right? Of this baby that never came to be in this world. I can see that gift because it helped me discover the safe place within myself that I needed to create. It offered me the potential to do because I had no more, like there was no more choice. Like it was this or death. Like at that point, that's the thing. I needed that choice of it's this or death. So that there was the only choice. Like the freedom comes from the only choice. Like this is the only choice. There is no other choice available. There is no more pretending that there are other choices. Like there aren't any, right? And there never have been. But now I really can't pretend that there are, I can just, like you said, stay deaf. Like I really can't.
Right.
And so that is what you felt. It's like, I can't stay deaf to any of this anymore. I'll either be dead, right? Or I live.
Yeah, I choose to live.
I choose to live. I choose to live. And what would you, okay, so, you know, and I have this, like, it's just this desire to, again, tell you and tell everybody listening. It's important to say, right? So I'm just going to say it again. I meet a lot of healers. I meet a lot of guides, a lot of teachers, a lot of incredibly successful people, right? Successful in the terms that we define it in the world, right? They make a lot of money. They have a following. They have a platform. They're masters of what they do. They do create amazing results for people, whatever way they do. It is very rare that I in my soul, right, can feel, I don't care what you do, but I trust you completely. And I feel that way with you.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say to that. That's just like, my soul just got hit by the biggest heart and like comet of love. And I just feel like I've been taken aback. But yes, I agree. Like just the cultivating safety within other people. And I've actually been contemplating on this and the work that I do in the world of, I have a women's awakening program. I have a 12-week offering that's, online and moduled and all of these things that I've created a product, and that's amazing. And I love it. And I believe in it. And I know it's good. And I know it works. And in that same breath, just like you described, like I want to be in front of people who don't care what I do, but they trust me and they want to know more and they want to get in my world in whatever the way that looks like. I want to connect, I want more of this. And so for you to just say that about me and see that within me, hits home very much so. So thank you.
You're welcome. And it's important to say, right? It's actually, this is real. Whoever's listening, me. I hope that at this point, whether it's the first time you listen to me or not, I won't say anything that I don't believe, right? And it's not even that I believe. Let me rephrase that. I believe what I said. But most importantly is I know what I said, right? I know on a soul level, this is gnosis, that what I'm witnessing in front of me in a Zoom room, the woman that you're listening to, energetics, right, of what we are deepening into, healing, transformation, finding your self, right? All of that here is only possible in this way because I can fully and completely trust that the soul in front of me is here for love. Like, that's it. That's all. End of story. So anything you would do from that place, I know would be in integrity with what you're offering, with what you're saying, you're here to do, because it can't not be, because you're here for love. Otherwise you wouldn't do it. Right. And you wouldn't, if you weren't good at what you did, right? If you weren't able to offer whatever you offered in the results that you just wouldn't. Like, it's just very simple. It's called integrity. It's called truth, and it's called love. And it also is called complete and total surrender. Right? Surrender, because something is leading you from within. And that's the same something that's completely in love with the tragic story that you lived, because it knows that was also chosen by your soul and your baby boy's soul and your partner's soul at the time, right? And your little girl's soul, so that you can embody what you're embodying now, because that is what they all needed.
Absolutely. I feel like that's the biggest common thread in just everything that I do. It's just like, I can't get away from this aspect of self-love and bringing love to the world. And of course it's trust. And of course it's, self-worth. And of course it's sharing your truth and honoring that. But the bare bones foundation underneath it all is that love for yourself, love to bring to the world. And again, it's just this common thread that's within everything that I've ever done, especially in this aspect of coaching and being a personal trainer and starting off in that direction. Like, I want women to love themselves and love their bodies so that they can love others. It's all about this extension outside of us to others and to the world, but it starts from within. And that's what so many women struggle with. And that's what I'm here to help transmute and support and enhance and illuminate within themselves of all of the ways that they are so freaking awesome, of the gifts that they have, like being in awe of themselves. And again, this is my own work too, is of seeing myself and being in awe of myself and everything that I've navigated and that these women are navigating on a daily basis, internally and externally. Having that strong foundation of safety within themselves is, as we continue to talk, it's been coming up for me more and more, but this just continues to validate that for me of what I get to bring to the world. And that's just really exciting. So thank you, Sasha.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm like, more of you, please, like in all the ways. And it can only be good. Right? It can only be good. There is really nothing that you right now are expressing that could in any way. And if anybody's feeling triggered, that's a good sign that there is something that you can look into, right? Every shadow is a gift. So it could be right now, if anything is like, well, I'm not sure. Good. don't trust, don't believe, don't, adhere to anything, right? That doesn't feel true, but inquire, right? What doesn't feel true?
Yeah.
Right?
Look into it. Be curious.
Yes. Yeah. What is in me right now kind of rebelling or resisting or scared, right? And such a gift. It's like, oh, there is, okay. So today, this is the work, right? This is the work. And it's such a gift to know that we're not alone on this journey, right? Kaija and I, and before we jumped on, we had a little exchange in Messenger where, you asked me so very like, what do you want, what should I prepare? And well, it's intuitively led, obviously, but I do want to share that, this inner work, it does require, it requires actual commitment, right? It requires an awareness. Like you said, love yourself so that you can. It is that. It's not, oh, I'll love myself, but then, right? It's like, no, this is the works. Like it doesn't go away. And you get to do this. You just said, I get to do this work. We get to do it. Yes, generations before us didn't. And yes, we get to, like I alluded to, if we believe in that or not, I know I do, heal the trauma, the whatever you want to call the darkness, the shadows that have been passed on by generations, not just in our bloodlines, right? Our souls have traveled a lot and absorbed a lot. So whatever we come with, it might not be yours, but it came with you. It came to you. So you got to deal with it because it is here to help you. Absolutely. Otherwise it wouldn't be here. Now, again, this is my understanding of the world and I might be wrong. So if it doesn't feel true, it doesn't feel true, but I know energetically that Kaija and I are in the same field. So that's why I'm speaking this way. Very specifically to, if you're listening, you do know, right? That everything in you is here for you. And it's also part of you and none of it is bad. You get to, like a sculptor, take this material and create something that has never been, right? Embody something that has never lived here. Create an energy, like transmitting it through your body, right? You create something that's never been. The energy is not new. You can't create new energy, but you create with this energy and therefore you can transform the energy. Right. And that's how we heal. And that's why it never ends because that's why we're here.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Like, you got to, and like every day, and now what am I going to create? Like, yes, this happened. What am I going to create today?
Right.
And get easier? No. It's actually going to get, sometimes it's going to feel like it's getting harder. Now, and you said this in the beginning, it's simple, right? It's going to get simpler. So it's very simple. It's not easy. Those two things are very different, right? Certain things might feel easier, right? Like daily meditation might become easier, but the actual experience of transmuting shadows that will keep coming up won't necessarily get easier. It's not about feeling better in the moment. It's about living better. It's about being better, right? It's about knowing that you are what you feel. And so in a way, yes, it is feeling better, but not in that emotional, like, oh, I just feel better by getting a hit of something to, dumb down my thoughts and disengage, which is what we do, right? With our patterns, again, our shadows. That's what everything they promise us, your ego, whatever it promises you, whatever is coming out of fear, right? Whatever the end result that it's showing you is going to be, it's never going to be that. So whatever is offering you will never happen. But that's why you will keep binge eating, hurting yourself, staying in abusive relationships, like withdrawing your love, right? Protecting your heart to the point of like actually not knowing it's there anymore. And whatever we do in terms of self-harm can go many ways, right? We can call it actual self-harm when it's something that will hurt you energetically, your psychological experience, your emotional experience. It doesn't necessarily mean cutting yourself or using drugs, right? Or drinking. Like shopping can be self-harm, right?
Absolutely.
It can be self-harm. Staying in friendships that don't honor, right? You truly being in your heart is self-harm.
Right. Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
It just is. So, but one thing transmutes everything, right? So you don't need to worry about it. Oh, all the ways. It's like one thing right now. What's the most important thing right now?
Yes. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things that I really try to work on with my clients is starting so small. Because again, when you don't feel safe, you don't trust yourself. And therefore you don't trust others either. So we really need to start small and start to just have small little daily habits, daily tasks, I ask my clients, what is something you can do today? Or what is one thing you can do today to fall in love with yourself? Every single day. Just like one small little act to fall in love with yourself. And those things compound on one another. And as you do that, your confidence increases, your trust increases, your self-worth increases, your self-belief increases. You're like, oh, I can do this. And I'm reaping the benefits of it. I'm seeing what I'm sowing reap in life. So it's this whole beautiful process of getting to this point of self-love and cultivating this safety. And another big aspect that I know so many women struggle with is the fluctuation of their emotions. And that has so many variables that go into it. But the biggest kicker with the fluctuating emotions is the meaning we place on it. And so that's what I really work with. Basically anyone I can have this kind of conversation with, I'm like, oh, let's talk about it. But it's really like feeling all of the emotions that you have, but not making them mean anything about you. Not letting your self-worth take a hit. And that's a practice. Mm-hmm. That's an art. That's a cultivation. That's a mastery. But it can be done. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. But we are so fortunate to get to experience a full range of emotions. I mean, everything from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, they are all meant for us. And so when we can allow ourselves to be a human, to be a feminine energy, right? To just be this beautiful, complex being, but not make it mean that we're not worthy of still having the things that we want, having deep, meaningful relationships, having a beautiful body that we love regardless of what it looks like on the outside. You know, we don't have to make it mean anything. We can have bad days, just like we can have good days. That allowance of letting it flow through us will continue to just perpetuate a good relationship with ourselves, right? Like good, bad, parentheses around those, but still that like more ideal, more embodied aspect. Like that's what we're here for. That's what we're all looking for outside of us. And so when we can look within ourselves and just remind yourself, like, it's just one of those days. I'm not meant to be high vibe all the time. That's unrealistic. I'm not meant to, like, this person seems to be happy all the time. Well, that's bullshit. No one is happy all the time. Like, just stay in your lane and allow yourself to just have a bad day. It's all just this beautiful relationship with yourself of allowance and grace and compassion and understanding and reflection. Like inquiring with why am I feeling this way? Like what maybe happened? What maybe triggered me? And not necessarily that you don't have to look into it if you don't want to. And I also preface that if that doesn't feel good for you, don't do it. Just let yourself just write it out because it won't last forever. You've had a day like that before. You'll have a day like that again. Let yourself be. And I want to say something. What was it? I think that's just, again, one of the biggest things I really try to allow my clients, give them permission to give them this perspective of like, it's okay. And whenever it does feel good for you to reflect back or even like reflect back on 10 minutes ago, 2 days ago, whatever that is, but extract the lesson, not just perpetuate the cycle of like negative thoughts or emotions around it. Like use it to your advantage. It happened for a reason. This is your gift. This is what's meant for you. Extract any kind of golden nugget you can out of it so that you can realize that it is for you and apply that lesson, that gift to your life moving forward. Reflect, extract, apply. I learned that from one of my other coaches and unknowingly, thankfully, through all of this other work that I've been doing, I've cultivated that practice already. But having those 3 words, I think can be really beneficial for ourselves and the listeners to just help with that process of realizing that it's all for you and it's all for your embodiment process, this beautiful journey of life that we have. And you can use that if you so choose to help serve others as well, which is also why I think we're here, is to serve this greater consciousness, this greater mission of the world, is to like expand our species and our world. And it happens through these little daily practices of just recognizing ourselves and observing what's going on and extracting these sweet little lessons that are all meant for us.
Yeah. Oh, you're so beautiful. Like, I mean, that's, you do want to serve, but that's how you serve. That's how you serve. You embody and transmit the gold that you extract, right? That's what it is. That's what alchemy is. So that your presence is that safe place, right? For others to experience the alchemy of their own soul. That's the only way. And of course, if your role in the world includes, like it is for you and for me, calling yourself a guide or a teacher or a coach, then it becomes all the more important, right? Because that's actually your work in the world. However, that doesn't diminish the work in the world that a stay-at-home mother does, or, a restaurant owner, or somebody who considers themselves completely removed, let's say, from the healing or interpersonal development. Actually, right? All of us are, and I believe this is not always been our experience, but this planet right now, this is why so many people are looking for personal development and how do I live my purpose and who am I? Because it's time. Like, this is why it's awakening at us, because we have the capacity to actually, yes, thrive as human beings who are very real with all of the range of the emotions. And like you said, actually connect the dots. How is it that this is happening? What is it here to offer me? And how can that gift be a way for me to transmit the gift I'm here to offer this world? In every way, every part of my life, right? Every expression, because all of it matters equally. Like, it might feel like it doesn't equally matter, right? Like, well, this is not as big as that. It is. It is. How you show up to the person in front of you right now is how you show up to 1,000 people waiting for a TED Talk. Like, that's it. And it's felt. That's why I'm saying what I'm feeling. You be. Yes. It's who you be. I trust you. Why? I just do. There is no degree you can show me that will increase my trust. There is nothing you can tell me about yourself right now that would suddenly decrease it. Like, truly. Right. And again, if I'm basing my idea of you on, right, metrics of success and all of these things that come from this very limited perception, right, of what we are, then of course, right, something you say, something you tell me, be like, oh, well, now I don't know. But now it's like, actually you increased your range as a human being. But what I'm feeling now is the truth of your soul. And you said something, the truth of my heart. I've heard one of my teachers say this yesterday, which I love. Like, the truth of your heart, right, is really only as potent as your capacity to be offering it from the openness of your heart. So you can be really aware of the truth and yet offer it from a closed heart. And this is where practice comes in, right? It's not just recognizing, well, this is the truth. And then now let me tell you, right? And that's how you actually discern. I now finally am able to articulate it. It's hard to discern this. It's like, well, how do you know, right? When do I respond in this way? When do I act this way? And where is the boundary? And what is of service? Well, if your heart is open, you will know. But the truth loses, right? Its capacity to actually help you expand. It's being expressed from a closed heart, because it's almost like it's a stale truth in a way, right? It's like you remove the flower from the ground. It's still pretty. It still looks like a truth. There's something in it. It's not alive. And I feel like what you just shared, it's not about the story, right? It's not about the concepts you teach. It's not about that you help people heal, women discover, right, their strength and their safety and trust themselves. It comes from your open heart. So you tuned into, right, what it is that their heart's looking for, so that you can absolutely offer the most effective, right, and the most potent and also the most empowering way to come back to themselves.
Yes. Yeah, that's what it always comes back to, is like, what is your heart actually saying? Because I think that's what good coaches do, is they ask questions.
Yeah.
And allow their people or whoever they're connecting with to answer for themselves, because they know that, are they open and willing to share it and willing to own it and let it be okay. I think as women, we don't allow ourselves to be okay, to let it be okay, whatever that truth is for you. And so, yes, again, it's like, all the answers. Can you listen to your heart? Can you let it speak and take its space in this world for the highest good of all? Because that's also what it comes back to, is knowing that your heart will never lead you astray. And by listening to it and answering its call, it's in the highest good for all. Because we put ourselves in this box, in this cage of I'm going to lose everything. People are going to hate me. They're going to reject me. It's going to ruin their life. Is that true? Is it true? No. Right? Like in the big picture,
no.
In the interim, in the acute phase, may people be upset? Sure. They don't understand. They don't know. They're not living in your reality. But in the big picture, are you going to be completely ostracized from the group and not survive? No, because there are people out there who understand and who get it and who want to support you. If other people in your life prior or presently are able to see that and support you in, that's okay. And you may lose some people along the way, even jobs, friendships, college roommates, situation, like who knows, but it's this aspect of if you're doing what's best for you according to what your heart is telling you and your intuition and the divine is guiding you to do, it will always be in the highest good for all, even if you don't know how exactly that's going to play out or what exactly that means. That's the certainty that we can lean into because it does feel unsafe. It does feel scary. You are vulnerable by listening to your heart. But in vulnerability, there's so much power. There's so much liberation. And so this deep self-love, deep self-trust, deep listening, deep allowance, deep surrender, deep willingness to take this risk for the highest of rewards will serve every single person and more people than you realize. Because again, that ripple effect from you doing what's right for you is astounding. There's no way to track it. There's no way for us to know, but that's what you get to lean into. And that's where you can stand in your power to make the choice of your heart, whatever that choice is. You have two decisions at all times every single day. Do I do what's in my heart and listen to that? Or do I let the fear's volume to be turned up? Which is louder? Which do you choose?
It all comes down to practice, right? Again, all of this is conceptual until you experience it. And to experience it fully and to trust the process, you have to practice, right? And I will say this right now, and I will keep saying it. Having somebody to reflect that to you, whether it's a coach, a guide, a teacher, dead or alive, right? Whatever is incredibly, I don't want to say even helpful. It's essential. Like it's essential because you can't see yourself. I cannot see inside of my eyeball, right? Like I can't see my soul. I can feel it. I can experience it. And also the deciphering, right? The discernment, like you just said, the truth of my heart. Well, what is the truth of my heart? I sometimes, and this is my experience with myself and many other people, we don't know what it is because we don't have the practice of actually being with it. And so it's very hard to take a risk and choose something, right? That you know is coming from the truth if you've never actually listened to it, right? So it's like, well, that's not the truth. The truth is this. It's like, well, is it though? Right? Because the trickster will come. It's like, oh, let me show you another way to learn this lesson then. Yes. Right? It's like, we're not done. Okay. Right? But and everything is in your highest good. Like you said, you will know if this wasn't the truth of your heart. Feels, right? It's like, well, this is why we train our intuition. What is the truth? What is the yes? What is the no? It takes time. It takes practice and it's never over. The point isn't for it to be done. The point is you become in love with the process of discovering the truth of your heart every single day and therefore deepening your capacity to love, right? Which is what doing in your ways. So I'm just so I know that we don't have that much time left and I want to honor your space, your time here. I just want to say thank you again for being here. You will be back. I know that. Would love to ask you, what is it in the truth of your heart right now that you feel, whoever is listening to this, they could feel this right now? What do they need to hear right now that you haven't had a chance to express yet in this conversation?
That I haven't expressed yet. Oh my gosh. I felt like I've cracked my heart wide open and splayed it on the table. That taking risks and being bold is actually really fun.
Yes.
It's scary. And I think it's really important to find a mentor, a coach, and a peer group to support you in all your ways, shape, and form, not reject you, not turn it around on you, but to hold you in that way. And taking risks and being bold is so much fun. Oh. And people really appreciate it about you. and carrying the torch in that way, in whatever way that shows up for you. You could be making crocheted stuffed animals, like it doesn't matter, making jewelry, painting, dancing, running, singing, whatever, speaking on stages. However that shows up for you, just go. Start small and just do it. And let that momentum build up behind you and validate you so hard and relish in it. It's so much fun. And then you meet beautiful people along the way that you've been calling in for years who are angels and supports and guides and protectors and everything that you've needed that maybe you didn't even realize you needed will show up for you. Take risks, be bold, be brave. We're on the Be Brave podcast. I mean, hello. Yes. One of my taglines that I say often is be brave, not perfect, because it gives you that permission to show up however you can, however you are, and let it be okay.
Oh, I love that, Kaija. And you just connected the dot to something that I felt what you shared before, which is, people might leave your life, right? Their contract with you is complete, right? You let that go, not because it's bad, but because it's over and it will serve, right? And like you said, some people won't agree. Some people, and that's fine. You're triggering their ego, right? That's okay. The truth of their heart will never be against what's good for you in your heart. Never, right? But that's not your work. That's theirs.
Right.
But the point is, when you let that go, you create the space to shine, right? Like you said, show up and be brave. And that's when your angels and your guides and your teachers and your co-creators, all these divine contracts that are actually really empowering, inspiring you to be more of you, show up because they can see you and they can see that you're ready.
Space for them to come
and
in.
there's space. So she's available. She is open. She senses she's here and she wants us to come in. We're going, right? They're not going to attack your life. They're only going to be invited by your being, right? And so literally like your sign, whoever's listening, what Kaija just said, do the damn thing. And also know we are your sign. Kaija is your sign. I'm your sign. We are that safe space. If you don't have one, that's bullshit. You do now. So you don't have to work with us one-on-one, right? You can follow Kaija on Instagram, find her, connect to her. And I know her enough to say that she'll be there, right? And I'm going to say that I'm here again, right? Always. So you have a safe space. You have a community of people who want to see the true you, who want you to shine and also be safe and trusting your own heart, right? And knowing that you are choosing to follow it and it is empowering yourself and everyone else. And it is in everyone's highest good. Everyone around you wants you to succeed and win, truly. And if they don't, right, it might be time again to just allow and trust to release whatever contracts that aren't in your highest good in this moment. That's done. They were, and now they're not, right? And then welcome the ones that are, and knowing that what's good for you can only be good for someone else. I heard this once and I say this again. They might not like it, but it's going to be good for them. And it's a good thing, right? Like you said, you just know. Right.
That's theirs to reflect and extract the lesson from it, and let your evolution guide you.
Yes.
Just let it lead the way.
Yeah.
Because again, it will continue to create momentum. And there's so much support for each and every one of you out there listening to this podcast. There's so much support by people who literally eat, sleep, and breathe this every damn day and want to be there for you. Sasha and I being two of those.
Yes.
So hop into our world.
Yeah.
We are here for it and we don't shy away. We want to nudge you along even more, but with love and support and curiosity, so just lean into that and know that it's there for you.
Yes. You create your community, right? That's how you do it. You have to ask, receive, expand. So guys, whoever is listening, I don't know why I'm saying plurally, because obviously you are listening. The one person who's listening, you are absolutely here for a reason. You should just know that whatever you needed to get from this episode, you got. Ask for more. And also, Kaija, how can this incredible human being who is here right now listening to you and I speak, how can they get more of you? Where can they find you? And also, what is it that you're currently inviting people to collaborate with you on, to co-create with you with, that you want to share?
Yes, yes. So you can find me on Instagram at I am Kaija Dawn. And I'm also on Facebook at Kaija Caraway. And I actually just launched a new offering today, which I'm super excited about.
Oh my God.
And if you're listening to podcasts, you probably love auditory learning and connecting with people in this way. So the offering that I have is one-to-one monthly Telegram coaching. So we hop into Telegram. It's a private chat between you and I, and we just talk about anything and everything that you need support with or looking for support with or encouragement or just recognition, whatever you need. It's Telegram voice messages or texting. And I have offerings for 2-day, 3-day, or 5 days a week. And so shoot me a message if any of that resonates with you. And then I also have a more expansive 12-week Women's Awakening program. And that's really where we dive more into the practices of cultivating safety, increasing your building strength internally and externally. Because as I mentioned, I've been a personal trainer for years and an athlete my entire life. I provide workouts throughout those 12 weeks and really help you increase your sense of self-trust so that you can make these big, audacious dreams that are on your heart a reality. That's my bread and butter. That's what I love to do. And so those are my 2 offerings that I have available right now. And hit me up on either of those platforms, Instagram or Facebook, so we can open up the conversation about how I can support you.
That's wonderful. And I also have to say that your content, just the free content that you have on Instagram and on Facebook, is extremely valuable. So everybody, you don't need to go and invest in a program right away. You do need to invest, your time and energy. Regardless, I would say follow Kaija regardless of whether you're looking for a coach right now, because you will most likely want to work with her, but definitely just dig into what she's sharing for free, because it says a lot about you again, Kaija, that everything you do share has so much nuance, so much depth. And again, you're drawing for so many, like you said, you're so many things. You're a fitness trainer, you're a mindset coach, right? You're a healer, you're a teacher. And like you said, it is that complete, embodiment of the wholeness of our experience that starts with our body, right? And really focusing on the trust and the devotion and just the connection to our truth, and knowing that we're only here to pretty much embody that so that we can thrive. It's never going to lead you astray. It's never going to do anything that's going to harm you. So find a safe space. Kaija is that safe space. Her programs will offer you an even better container that's tightly held. And obviously, I just want to say, if this resonated with you, share this episode, connect with us. Just take what's yours. Yeah. Take what's yours. This is an offer for you. Know that you are ready to feel safe in your body, and you are absolutely ready to trust that whatever is calling your heart is telling you now is the time. So whatever that looks like you said, Kaija, small or big, start small, do whatever you need to do, but trust that this is the only way that you're really going to feel that you are here for a reason, and that you have the most expansive, expansive, I want to say impact. A friend of mine she wrote a book called Expansive Impact. And I'm going to use that. Shout out to Sarah, but expansive impact on this world in everything that you do. So thank you, Kaija. Is there anything else that you wanted to share before you go? If you were to say one sentence, just to encompass everything you stand for, what would it be? I'm going to leave it with you.
Just do one thing a day to fall in love with yourself and let it build.
You heard it here first. You heard it.
Thank you, Sasha.
You're welcome.
This was so much fun.
So much.
Thank you all for letting me connect with you, and keep going. Keep going.
You got this, and we got you. Love you. Bye. Speak to you next week.
Oh, my dear friend. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I appreciate you. I celebrate you. And if you found this helpful, I welcome you in sharing this with someone who needs a little pick-me-up and a reminder that they are the love that they seek. And I hope that you know how powerful you are, how loved you are, how needed your gifts are. that you are enough, just as you are. I welcome your feedback and any requests or questions you have. So feel free to ping me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Sasha Lipskaia, or email me at sasha@sashalipskaia.com. And if you're looking for more support and perhaps a beautiful way to relax into more love and more flow and more of your soul essence, I have 2 beautiful meditations that you can download for free on my website at sashalipskaia.com. Feel free to shoot me a message, leave me a comment, and as always, stay in your love, stay brave. Know that you are held, supported, and worthy.